Hey guys, what's up? Chemistry here. I'm gonna be giving you guys a quick theory lesson today using C major or the C major scale. I'm sure you guys all have heard it. Goes a little something like this. And I guess I'll be kind of showing you how this scale works and how to transpose. Using FL Studio, it's really easy. Transposing, it's basically having the C major scale, which is easy because it's only using white notes. There's no sharps, no flats, and just taking it and then moving it somewhere else. So now this is D major. So yeah. Anyway, so I guess I'll be just going through certain parts of the scale, kind of breaking it down. So I'm going to move this to the side, having C5 drawn out like this and using the next notes of the scale to kind of harmonize it. So D, which is known as the major second of C because it is like the second note of the scale in C major. And all these next notes that I'm going to show you, except for B, are good melody starters, so keep that in mind. You can start off your melodies if you're in C major with D. Might not always sound so good. I usually find it's better for trance or that kind of ambient music, just because it's 2 semitones higher, and I don't know, sometimes those two notes work together quite nicely. Next we have E, which is the next note after D on the C major scale, and it's known as major third because it's the third note in major. And when moving from C to C minor, the major third, the major sixth, and the major seventh, they go flat, and that's what creates the minor. But I'll show you what this sounds like. I found like those two notes have a really nice kind of major sound to it. So that's why I kind of give it the orgasmic note. Major third is what I like to call the orgasmic note because it just normally sounds quite nice. But I guess all these notes are good melody starters. Next is perfect fourth, which is F. The reason why it's called perfect fourth and not major fourth is because when you move from C major to C minor, it doesn't change. So in the scale of C minor, F is included. It doesn't change, doesn't go flat, doesn't go sharp. It just stays there because it's just the perfect. That's just the rule. Also a good melody starter. Next is G, which is my favorite. It's known as the perfect fifth of C. So when we're moving from C major to C minor, we are not changing G at all. It's also the note that's in between both C's, so C5 and C6, which is an octave from each other. G is known as like the note in between, just like any other notes here. Like let's say I have it on A, then the perfect fifth of A is E, because the perfect fifth of C is G, and that's kind of how music works. And it's all the same thing, but it does sound different. But anyway, we're on C major, so we're following this. Next, there is A. So move that over here. Which is also a decent melody starter. Don't usually use it. It's called major sixth. And then after that, there is major seventh, which is B. It's a semitone under C or semitone under any note that is the starter note. Like let's say if it was on A, then semitone C, A flat. But anyway, sounds like that, and it's not really nice because it's just that semitone of difference. What your brain wants to hear is that, right? So it's so close, But anyway, it's just part of the scale, I guess. Not a good melody starter, I don't think, unless you're going for some sort of distorted sound, I don't know. But yeah, so that just kind of goes through the scale, I guess. Keep in mind though, I did learn this a long time ago, so some of the terms I might be using might not be so accurate. I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert on musical theory, I'm just kind of showing you guys what I know and what works for me, so bear that in mind. What I have on pattern 2 here is, let's see, what do I have? Same thing. Alright, so I'm just going to show you guys how to change it into a minor. So this is a normal C scale, and we're going to change it to C minor. So first we got C, and the unison of C is just C again, so that's unison. Major second actually doesn't change either, not sure what the technical terms of that is, but major second doesn't actually change down because I think it's just because it'd be too close to C, you know what I mean? Because you can't have 3 notes of a scale like this, so I think it has to be further up like that. Anyway, so major second doesn't change. Major third changes, it goes flat. So third, 6th, and 7th, they just go flat. So there's always 3 notes in the scale that go flat, which is major third, which would be like the minor third in this case, which is a nice kind of orgasmic note in the same kind of way. Gives a nice minor sound. So major third becomes minor third and it goes flat. So what was once E is now E flat. F and G doesn't change at all. A stays actually no, A doesn't stay the same. It goes flat to A flat. So what was once A in major is now flat because it's a major 6th, and we know that major 6th goes flat, as well as major 7th, which goes flat as well. So now the scale sounds like this. Sounds a little more scary, I guess. So now that we have this minor scale kind of set up, you now know that this is how it works, and use this C scale as kind of a home. So if you're not sure how many flats or how many sharps are in, let's say, G minor, use this scale right here, because FL Studio gives you kind of gives you this grid, right? And if you move this to G, so the unison note is G, you just gave yourself G minor. And when you're making your melodies, this is very important, when you're making your melodies, you only use these notes in C minor. And if you're using C major, you're only using these notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a quick melody in C major and C minor, and I'll just show you kind of how you just kind of place the notes, or what notes you choose. So I'm going to make this harmony. It's going to start up on C4. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start it on C4, an octave below the unison note that was C5, or the middle, or home, or whatever. Then we're going to move down to A, then F, and then G. So this is a very generic kind of rock sound. You hear it pretty much everywhere. And keep note that all these notes that I just used here are in the scale. A is in the scale major, or C major, so is F, so is G. So all these notes here are somewhere within these shadow notes here that I just kind of have, so you guys can refer off of. So you can choose to start your melody using any of these notes. So let's say I choose B. It sounds kind of sad, so then that's just kind of throwing my melody into a sad note. I know I said earlier that B probably wouldn't work so well, and I just kind of proved myself wrong. You can use any notes in the scale of C major to make a melody. So I have the perfect, what am I saying, major 7th of C4, and then during A I have what is the major 2nd, because, no, that's wrong. When you're using these harmonies, guys, this is gonna be hard to explain. When you're using these harmonies, this is major, right? But this is A, and when it moves from C to A like that, because they're relative scales, it's usually known as like an A minor, because you can make a part of the. I don't know if you guys ever heard that before, but it's just kind of a harmony, and it uses kind of a A minor. So when you're going from C to A, I guess you're kind of going from C, the C chord, to A minor chord, then to F, and then to G. So that's why it doesn't sound so bad when you have A and G together like that. Just sounds kind of sad. And I guess that's because of A minor, I mean, is a relative of C major, and that's because C major has no black notes, no sharps, no flats, right? If we agree on that, then A minor does not have any sharps or flat either. There are two scales that don't have sharps and flats. There's no other major chord with no sharps and flats. But the only other scale that does have no sharps or flats is the A minor. So every note or every key has that kind of relative other key, using another type. It has to switch from major to minor. I'm even using hand gestures right now. I know you guys can't even see it, but that's how hard it is for me to explain this. So it's actually changing from C to A minor, and then G and F, and that's just kind of how it works because of relative scales. Don't get too caught up with that though. It's almost like you're visiting every single other scale. F, if you see here, F and C are the two notes right here, and if you move the F to the next octave, oops, that looks a lot like what was the perfect 5th of C, remember? Move that down back to F. So now we know that C is the perfect 5th of F. So that's why it sounds kind of good. Same kind of thing for G. So the G and the B is hitting here. G and B go really well together because B is G's major 3rd, which is what I call the erasmic note. G's perfect 5th is D, which is also a good note. So when I'm looking for a happy tune and I hit the G chord like this, then I look for things like B, I look for D, I look for another G, and if I'm in minor, I look for, what would it be? Probably be looking for B flat or E flat, but anyway. And yeah, so all the notes here are using the notes off of this scale. Using C, A, F, G, B, G, C, B again. I could use A somewhere. Let's say I wanted that to sound more major. I just take the A and move it back down to G. Then next note is C, and the next note is F. I know that C and F work very well. I know that F and A work really well because the major 3rd of F is A. And then the next note shouldn't be G again. I might want to change it, but I don't have to, I guess. So I'll move back up to A down here. I know that perfect 5th of A is E. I know that the major 3rd of A is, I believe, is C sharp, but I can't use that, so since it's an A minor, it'll be C. But yeah, that's how stuff works in the musical business. I don't even know. I didn't really have time to go into minor. I feel like I've washed you guys with a lot of information already. Like I said, with theory, it's like when you talk about one key, it's almost like you have to talk about every other key, and it's because they're all kind of the same in their own way. And they all keys have the second, the third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. If you're using minor, the third, which would be major, would go down to minor by going flat. The sixth and the seventh would go flat, and then you would have the minor scale. If you're not sure what certain keys use certain flats or sharps, you can either look it up, which is easy, or you can copy down the C minor scale and then move it down to that note, and then that'll give you the minor scale, like I've shown you in this video. But I'm gonna leave you off with that. Hopefully you guys learned something. If this was confusing or you have any suggestions on how else I should be explaining this, yeah, please let me know. I'm not a music teacher, so this is all kind of new to me, especially teaching theory like this. So I feel like I have to be technical and accurate, which I know I'm not always. So if you guys want to correct me on whatever, just yes, do that please, because even I learn a lot about music theory every day. But once you get the hang of how or what notes you should be using for certain chords and harmony, it gets really easy. It really does, and you can have a really good sound, and you can almost have all these very complicated harmony progression or sequences, and I don't know, you get a really unique song out of it. So I'll let you guys off with that. If you want any more information on music theory, let me know and I could see what I can do, I guess. Good luck, guys, and until next time, question mark.